It's a horrible things, lots of things going on. So just, I hope that coming here gives you some comfort and self-care so that you can do the work and help do the work that needs to be done out there. That's what I'll say. I've been doing some reading about, yoga and social justice and how they blend together. So it's not always easy to say the things that I want to say and share, but it's important because I'm a big, big, big believer in body autonomy and women's rights. And that's, as a person in the LGBTQ community as well, I feel like that's next, like my marriage to Sabrina. Like these are things that, concern us. So I hope that when we come together for yoga, that we have that feeling of autonomy for the body, doing what feels good to you, resting when you need, taking the best care of yourself possible so that you are feeling great and strong and whole off the mat. That's what I'll say. You can take the shape of Shavasana, or you can have your knees bent. You can allow your eyes to close if you'd like, and maybe just let your body take a big exhale. I want to share a quote by Veronika Tugaleva. We speak about losing our minds as if it is a bad thing. I say, lose your mind. Do it purposefully. Find out who you really are beyond your thoughts and beliefs. Lose your mind, find your soul. I love it. Take a few deep breaths. Arriving right here on your yoga mat today, this warm day. Heat on the outside, heat within. And you may notice the breath in your belly, in your chest, entering and leaving your nostrils. But let yourself notice it. Notice where your mind is. If you wandered, come back. Inhale and exhale with awareness. Conscious breathing. If you would like to change your arms or your legs, you can do that and then settle back in. Awareness on your breath. For the next few breaths, you might bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart center, connecting to you. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring both hands now to touch at heart center. Grateful for this time to show up for yourself and for each other. And to connect to your body and your breath. And let's send something good out into the world from your heart out. You can release your arms, bend your knees if they're not. Just find a comfortable place where you feel like it's not a lot of effort to have the legs bent, and find that place that just feels like they are grounded and settled. Your arms can rest anywhere. We're just going to lift the toes up and down, and saying hello to the feet. And then we'll try lifting just the big toes lift and lower. The other toes will try to stay down, and you'll try to keep your hands, your shoulders, and your face relaxed as just your big toes rise and lower. Keep your big toes down now and just lift the other toes. Big toes will stay down. All the other toes that are willing to lift can lift and lower. Okay, pausing for a moment. All the toes are down. Just take a breath in and out. You might only think about this one. Pinkies and big toes stay down, and the middle toes try to lift. Probably feel some action throughout the arches. The feet become a little more active, but pinky toes, big toes down, and the middle toes try to lift. Do not stick your tongue into the roof of your mouth or furrow your brow. I'm smiling because that helps me relax my face. And then release. Draw your knees into your chest. You can be still or take a few gentle rocks side to side. And let your legs and arms float up now. Resting bug. We'll scrunch toes and fingers. Scrunching and spreading out toes and fingers. One more time. And then ankles and wrists. Circling, slowly exploring. Switching direction. And then let's let the legs go apart and together. Any amount. We're just getting started. So a little bit can be plenty. Notice the quality of your breath here. Couple more times, legs and arms apart and together. Release and let your legs go out. Your arms in a T. Some nice full breaths here, not forcing, but just allowing. Nice big inhales and exhales. One more. Whole body inhale and exhale. Bend your knees. As we get ready for some bridges, I want to give a couple of options today. You can always adjust your pillow. You might want to take it out. Also, if you have an extra prop, a block, or a pillow, maybe you want to take a few bridges today, squeezing the prop between the legs. And you can try it. If it doesn't feel, I like it actually a little bit wider. So I'm going to widen the pillow and then squish it with my legs. That feels a little better. You can activate the inner thighs, feel some work in the hips. So we'll start with the arms down, lifting and lowering the pelvis. You can link the movement with your breath. Find the buttocks, strong butt to help with this hip extension. And adjusting the props always as needed. If you'd like, begin adding your arms, letting your arms float up and over, hips lift, and then lower everything down. At any point, you can take the cushion or the prop out from between the thighs, if that's a better option. I'm going to do one more with my pillow. And then can practice without. Have some awareness of where the prop was. And thinking about all the toe work that we did. Maybe for the next 3 bridges, hips and arms lift, toes lift. And then everything lowers down. Release the toes, the hips, the arms. And again, as you lift, toes can lift. My pinky toes, very resistant to lifting. And then everything lowers. Last one. And you'll pause and rest, or you can come up into a bridge and hold. Toes up or down, arms up or down. Breathing in and breathing out. Really push through your heels. Maybe even add that action of trying to drag the heels back toward the buttocks. Very, very active variation of the pose, just woo, right away. One more breath here, holding or resting. Then we come back down and pause. You can take your legs out, and if you'd like, arms up and over. Starfish, pause and breathe. I'm going to teach cooling breath here. You can try it or not. For these hot days, it can be good. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can sip a very slow breath in through the lips as if you had a little teeny tiny straw. You'll feel cool air coming in. And then you gently place the tongue behind the top teeth, close the mouth, and exhale out of your nose. So it's a sipping in cool air through the little straw, closing the mouth gently, tongue behind the teeth, exhale out of the nose. The other way to do it, if it's available, is to stick out your tongue and curl your tongue. You breathe in the cool air, gently close the mouth, tongue behind the teeth, and exhale out of the nose. Maybe a couple more rounds, cooling breath. Or regular inhales and exhales are beautiful choice. Bend your knees, bring your arms back down. Excuse me. And this time, legs a little wider, feet turn out. So we'll take some wide leg bridges. Unless they're not feeling good to you, you can take traditional shape again. We press down through the heels. Let's start without the arms, lifting the hips and lowering. Any amount, a tiny bridge can be powerful. So please explore with kindness and curiosity. If you'd like, adding the arms and maybe keeping them in this kind of wider shape as you lift the hips, arms going up and over. Noticing how these bridges feel. I'm a little more wobbly always when I take the legs wider. Have to work a little harder to stay steady. Follow your breath. Maybe the next few, you lift the toes as your hips lift, and then lower everything down. Breathing, breathing, breathing. One more time. And decide to rest or come up into a bridge and hold. You can leave the arms by your sides, or if you'd rather, take them up and over. You can even feel what it feels like to lift the toes. I don't know why that really makes things kapow. And we'll slowly come down. You can hug your knees into your chest. Gentle rocking or stillness. And release your legs. You may keep them bent or perhaps straighten them out again, maybe as wide as your mat or a little wider. And we'll take arms in a T. And we'll just let the head, slow motion, roll toward the left and toward the right. Super duper slow. Let your head be heavy. Nice and slow. One more time, each direction. And when you come back to center, you'll decide. You can be still here, or we're doing a couple times, just maybe twice, maybe 3 times, where we lift the head the tiniest amount. So sometimes nice to have arms by your side, palms down, tiny little lift of the head. It's literally, I still feel the blanket, but I feel the muscles of my neck working, and then let go and do a little head wiggle. This is strengthening the muscles of the neck. So the head is heavy, tiny lift, or just thinking about it. Okay, let's do it one more time. Tiny little lift. And release. Let it all go. And maybe one last time. Tiny little lift. I am not lifting even off this pillow. It looks like I'm doing nothing, but there's a lot of work happening. And then you release. Pause. Release completely. Pause and breathe. And allow the nervous system to take in that work. From here, we'll come into supported bridge. So you can bend your knees and get your prop of choice, pillow, block, bolster, bringing your pelvis onto your prop. And adjusting your head support. Maybe you want to take that out. And we're going to come to cactus arms or T arms. Your legs can be bent in this traditional, just feet on the ground, or you can take the legs a smidge wider and you can add your cushion between the legs. So completely supported, zero effort. And you might let your eyes close. Awareness on the inhales and exhales. You may keep your head in neutral, or you can roll your head to one side and pause. Change your arms if you need to. Through center and over to the other side. Coming back through center, staying right where you are if you would like, if that's feeling good, or you can take the prop out. You can stay in supported bridge with the legs in this more neutral position, or you'll draw your legs in and bring your legs up into the sky. You can add your arms up into the sky. Feel the support of your pelvis, your low back, And feel the lightness of your limbs. And we can let the legs and arms go apart and together like we did on the ground. This feels a little bit different as we have this elevation. One more time. You can hug your knees in toward your chest. Probably don't want to rock here unless it's a very tiny rock so that you stay supported on your cushion. And you can release the legs and we'll thread the needle, left leg on top first. Any variation, remember, you can keep the foot grounded. You can draw the legs in. You can even have the bottom leg still up toward the sky if that's nice. There's plenty of time. Just breathe. Be where you want to be. You might like to take a couple rounds of the cooling breath, or perhaps regular inhale and an open mouth exhale. Kind of the opposite of cooling, but a great way to let go. And let's take 3 more breaths here on side 1. Releasing the legs. You can pause for a breath or two in the center, maybe a hint of movement with your legs, side to side. And then we'll move into side 2, right leg on top. Any or all variations. Focusing on breath. Anytime you want to add in cooling breath or a vocal exhale. Taking 3 more breaths on this side. Releasing. And a choice here, if you would like to take starfish pose with the elevation under your pelvis, you can come into that. So just a whole body stretch. If that bothers your low back or feels like it puts you into too much of a back bend, feel free to lift up. You can come down to the mat and stretch out into starfish. Whole body inhale and exhale. One more time, whole body inhale and exhale. And we'll create a gentle twist. So you might want to add your pillow back in if you took it out. And then choices for twisting. We're going to go to the left first, unless you don't want to. You can go to the right. You can just start with your feet on the ground. Maybe tilt your pelvis a little to the right and drop the knees. Arms can be in a T and you can look the opposite way of your knees. If you would rather, that's a gentler variation, which I sometimes like. If my low back's cranky, I really like it. Or you can hug the knees in and then take them over to the left. Using cushions, support, or nothing at all. Your choice. Maybe making a prop sandwich. So there's a stack, pillow, leg, pillow, leg. A few more breaths here, gentle twist. Make your way back to center, and you might again like to stretch out for a breath or two before the second side. Maybe into starfish, just for a breath or two. And you can transfer your cushion or cushions to the other side. So we'll go legs to the right. You might shift your pelvis a smidge to the left. Feet down or not. You can hug the legs in if you prefer. And then drop your legs to the right, supporting where you need. Arms in a T and maybe looking the opposite way of the legs. Breathing in and breathing out. A few more breaths here. Slowly bringing yourself back to center. Before we stretch out and create Shavasana, this time we'll draw the knees in. You can allow the legs to go away from the torso and then draw them gently in. So we create a very sweet, kind, small movement with the low back, your lumbar spine, just letting the arms move the legs away from the torso and gently draw back in. And you'll bring your feet down to the ground, locating the props that you need. Let your legs slide out into Shavasana. Add anything that helps you feel comfortable, supported. The idea is that you create comfort for optimum rest. Shavasana. You may stay and rest longer. Or take a few deep inhales, coming back into your body. Inhaling some love, some goodness, compassion, kindness. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe one more time, a whole body stretch, or you can hug your knees in instead if that feels better. Bring yourself to fetal pose on one side. Pause there. Just pause on your side for a moment. Ready to go from Shavasana, from the practice, into the rest of your evening, maybe with a good intention for some extra hugs and smiles and kindness. Extra exhales. And then you'll bring yourself up to sit. Touch your hands together at heart center, a gesture of gratitude or prayer. Thank yourself for showing up to practice. And each of us thanking each other for our community today. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, friends.